second booster shot if you can.
It does significantly raise immunity with no downside. And so I do think if anybody is 4 to 5 months out of their last booster shot, dramatically will increase that immunity, which will prevent you from getting seriously ill, but also in many cases prevent infection at all.
In France, French President Emmanuel Macron cast his ballot today along with other voters. He's facing some stiff competition from far-right candidate Marine Le Pen. Macron looked like a shoo-in to win a second term, but Le Pen has come in strong the past few days. Lawmakers in Maryland just overrode the governor's veto to expand abortion access. WTOP reporter Dick Uliano.
The General Assembly has ended restrictions that only physicians provide abortions, and the state will require most insurance plans to cover abortion care without cost.
Rallies for abortion rights were held yesterday in several cities.
It's actually shocking because I'm from Mexico. We cannot see the United States as a more progressive society.
A woman should have a basic right to do what she wants to do with her own body.
A Supreme Court ruling's expected by the end of June that might strike down Roe v. Wade. The Kids' Choice Awards went down last night. Spider-Man No Way Home and High School Musical, the series, each got 3 orange blimps. On the TV side, the faves were iCarly, America's Got Talent, and SpongeBob SquarePants. And there was plenty of sliming. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs
and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner?
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Where are those receipts?
Tax day is nearly here,
I held on to those.
and Chanel is stressing.
Why do I always wait to the last minute?
Her small business needs a bookkeeper to crunch some big numbers.
All these spreadsheets make my head spin. None of this adds up.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM, FM, and .com.
Starting off our Sunday morning with a bit of a chill in the air. You may need a jacket as you're heading out, but you certainly won't need it later on this afternoon. In fact, we're looking at another pleasant and beautiful afternoon across the viewing area. Today featuring plenty of sunshine and highs climbing into the upper 70s, and it will get quite breezy as we head into the afternoon.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Jefferson Parish working a West Bank homicide. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta has the story.
The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office is investigating a homicide in Marrero. Just after 5, officials responded to a multi-vehicle crash on Ames Boulevard near Rue Louis Philippe. As they checked on people in cars for injuries, they discovered the driver of one of the cars had been shot. That person was taken to the hospital where they died. Another person was treated for the crash. Investigators believe the victim was shot near Mount Kennedy Drive. That's about 1.5 miles away. Then got into their car and drove off before crashing.
This is the latest in a violent weekend, including a number of West Bank homicides in New Orleans' Algiers district. The sudden Friday resignation of state senator and longtime politician Karen Carter Peterson caught a lot of people by surprise. Peterson said she was stepping down to concentrate on her mental health and gambling addiction problems, but it's now been learned that Peterson is part of a federal investigation. Sources tell the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate the probe is financial in nature and has to deal with Peterson's gambling activities. Details about the probe are few. Here's Sean Ross with WWL Sports.
The Pelicans secure the 9th seed in the NBA play-in tournament. They'll host the San Antonio Spurs Wednesday night at the Blender, a primetime tip-off at 8:30. After a disappointing loss to Memphis yesterday, Coach Willie Green says the entire team needs to bring it if they want to make a postseason run.
We don't want to feel like this again, and that needs for us to play harder, play better, play more together. We just didn't have it tonight. Didn't bring it tonight. We won't flush this game. I'll talk to the guys about it. We got to be better. We have to be better.
Pels close out the regular season tonight against the Warriors at SKC. Tip-off also at 8:30. The Tigers are playing with house money in Stark Vegas. LSU took the series against Mississippi State with a 4-3 win in Game 2 yesterday. The Tigers bullpen came up big when they needed it most, and a 3-run homer to start the game didn't hurt either.
3-1 to Barry. Hit high in the air to right field. Sailing back is Clark. He will do nothing but watch it. 3-run bomb, and LSU takes advantage of the early base runners and takes a 3-0 lead.
Tigers go for the sweep this afternoon right here on WWL. Pre-game coverage begins at 12:30. First pitch at 1 o'clock. Sean Ross, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Another chilly start to our morning. We're looking at another picture-perfect day with sunshine all around. Highs reaching the upper 70s, and it will be quite breezy, but this time winds will be out of the south between 15 to 20, helping to drive up the humidity, so it will be a touch humid later on. Monday starting off somewhat mild, but highs climbing into the lower 80s Monday afternoon under partly cloudy skies. It'll be breezy, and a pop-up shower is possible, and it will be a touch humid. As we head into our Tuesday, it will be another warm day with highs in the lower 80s under mostly cloudy skies, and once again, a stray shower is possible, hit or miss. From the local Weather Expert Forecast Center, I'm WWL-TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning. Sorry, Albert Nicaud, your legal lawyers, all things legal. Good call, 260-1870, or text us on our Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. Good morning, Albert.
Hey, Doug, what's up?
Looks like you're outside. You are.
I am out. I'm at my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house in Waveland, and it's a beautiful morning. I'm looking out at the beach and in the water. Nice day. Every once in a while, the birds quieted down, but the gulls were going crazy. I was thinking I might have to go inside, but they've quieted down a little bit. So
Yeah, you look like you're in a beach setting or a coast setting.
Very nice.
Would,
so yeah, we spent the weekend here and just enjoyed it.
What's there to do in Waveland?
Oh, there's lots to do. Well, you know, you're very close.
Get you to crank your gain up just a little.
From Bay St. Louis, and of course, Bay St. Louis has been totally revamped. I mean, they've redone the downtown area and their hotels, their new hotels and restaurants. And yesterday was the art market. I think it's every second Saturday they do that. And, yeah, there's a lot going on. In fact, you would come here and would know 100 people walking around the streets. A lot. It's New Orleans and Metairie, all in Mississippi. A lot of folks buying places and coming over here to hang out. And it you know, to me, it's so much better than 30A because it's an hour away. You know, and you have the opportunity to come more because my brother-in-law sometimes, you know, spends the night, gets up, goes to work, you know, drives in. So, it's nice.
Well, I will tell you a story about Waveland. I went to a conference at one of the casinos, and I went and got gas, and for some unknown reason, I think my phone rang, and I put my wallet on top of the gas pump. And then I drove to New Orleans, and I realized that I didn't have my wallet. And I got a call the next day from Greg Federico, who one of the owners of Eco Classy. He had said he had found my wallet on top of the gas pump.
Wow.
And retrieved it. And I figured out it was about an hour after, or half an hour after I left. And so that's all I need to know about Waveland.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's nice. You know, people driving their golf carts around, and it's a nice little community. It really is. It's not a secret anymore. I mean, it's pretty crowded downtown. There's some bars and restaurants and live music and lots of good places to eat. So yeah, it's great.
Did you? Yeah. Did you?
And then Friday night, Friday night, we my nephew Phil Nicaud, you know him.
Yeah.
He and his wife Elisa celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary and had a recommitment of their vows. And Bob Jenks was there. A lot of folks were there that you know. It was nice. I got to see the family. My brother came in from Tennessee, and it was a good time. Congratulations! Shout out to them.
It was one of your 50-something or 40-something nephews.
Actually, I want to say that we have 37. I think 37. Is total.
All right.
Yeah, 37. Yeah, nieces and nephews, including my two kids. So I guess 35. I have.
35. Okay.
Big old family, you know.
You still do your family reunion in the Smoothie King Center, or do y'all do something?
Yeah, right. Well, we didn't get to do it last year. We normally do it every odd year, right? Because it's odd family, right?
Right.
But with the COVID and everything else, we weren't able to get together. But we're looking forward to 2023 next summer to go hang out on the beach and spend. And it'll be a couple hundred people probably, with cousins and distant relatives, et cetera. It's a lot of fun, and you get to know your family and make friends on Facebook and stay connected. So.
Well, the Nicaud family is known for its fertility, and you cannot. I could say this about Walmart in Covington: you cannot walk 2 aisles in Walmart without seeing a Nicaud.
There you go.
There you go. And all the Nicauds have a very distinct look. You could tell.
Yep.
They're very, very, very distinct. So, good-looking family. All right. Did you? Pelicans lost yesterday. They won. They blew out Portland Thursday night.
Yeah, I went to that game.
Did you go to Portland?
Yeah, I went to that game. Okay, so I have a quick story about that.
Okay.
So our associate Brett.
I know about that. Yeah.
You know about it?
Yeah, he told me.
It's hilarious. So he says, I'm going to the game tonight, so I'm going to make it interesting. So he puts $100 down on a 7-step parlay. And then for those who don't bet, a parlay is you're betting on 7 different things, and you have to win all 7. And if you do, I think his payout was like $1,000 on a $100 bet. So it's Jackson Hayes has to score more than 10.5 points, and Valanciunas couldn't have more than 13 rebounds. Excuse me, back and forth. Well, he shows up with a jersey on, and he takes duct tape. It was an Anthony Davis jersey that he had, so he duct taped over the 1 and left it as a 3, and then on the back he did the same thing, and over Anthony Davis's name he put duct tape and wrote McCollum, because McCollum's number 3. So he took a picture of it, and then he took a picture of his parlay bet, and he lost the bet. He won 6 out of 7. He lost the bet because McCollum, he had to score more than 23.5, and he only scored 23.
Well, the thing was they benched him with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, because they were winning by so much. They because of the blowout. And he missed 2 free throws in a row too. And so which is very unlike him. So he posted on Snapchat, on Instagram or Twitter, I think it was, one of them. He posted on Twitter and he says, look, McCollum didn't score the 24 points, and I lost my bet. And he posted the 2 photographs of his jersey. Well, McCollum responds and says, well, I guess I owe you a real jersey. And so, and then he comes back in my office and says, look at this. He said, it made Barstool Sports. So Barstool Sports picked it up, with the photograph of his jersey, the jerseys he had on, and the parlay bet showing 23.5, and McCollum only scoring 23. So hopefully he'll send him an autographed jersey. That'd be a lot of fun.
Well, I will have to say this about McCollum. He is one of those classy, good citizen off the field, very emotionally stable, very great leader. He brings an intangible. He brings that Drew Brees type of intangible to a team, where he's just the rock. And I mean, he's the head. I think he's president of the NBA Players Association. Just conducts himself very well, very articulate, very thoughtful. And I think he's probably the best guard the Pelicans have ever had since they've moved. The Pelicans Hornets since they've moved here by far.
Yeah. And I mean, he can do it all, and it's just amazing, how you're right, and he conducts himself. And we've been talking about this, how much that locker room gels, and how much these kids just really care about each other. They cheer for each other. The subs are in, and the starters are in there, high-fiving each other when they do well, and it's fun to watch. And it starts with the coach. What a class act this guy is. Great coach. Same thing. That even keel temperament. The Pelicans are what is right about the NBA. Not the grandstanding LeBron and all the controversy. They just go out there and play, have fun doing it. There are a lot of times you see smiles on their faces while they're playing because they just enjoy being there. And that to me is what the NBA should be about. Yeah, it's fun to watch, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do tonight. If they're just going to rest everybody because they've locked in the playoff game, and just let other folks play, maybe play their starters a little bit. Because I know Golden State needs this game. I think they're fighting for a seed. They're a game here or there, up or down, and so they're going to put on their best. And the Pelicans don't have a whole lot to play for, and they could probably rest their folks till Wednesday.
Well, also now the way the play-in works, the Pelicans play San Antonio at home at 8:30. It'll be a late game, and then they have to win, and they play the loser of the 7 and 8 seed, which is Minnesota and the Clippers, and then the winner of that game will be the number 8 seed, and the winner of the Clippers and Timberwolves game will automatically qualify. So they have to win 2.
Be the 7.
So
the 7.
So it's nice to be in that position. They'll have to get that kind of experience would be great for the young players, and it'll be an exciting atmosphere, much like the Lakers a couple of weeks ago. It'll be, it's nothing like playoff basketball in NBA. It's a great atmosphere. All right, I hear it.
And nothing makes me happier than LeBron James and Anthony Davis sitting home.
That's all, folks.
Yeah.
That's all, folks, for the Lakers.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Go home. WWL is your home for LSU baseball. Hear Game 3 between the Tigers and the Mississippi State Bulldogs today.
I'm going to need you to crank yourself up a couple of notches, actually.
.com and the Odyssey app.
Is your Hurricane Ida insurance company still playing games?
A little more.
Giving you the runaround? Are you still dealing with multiple adjusters, unreturned phone calls,
Test.
duplicate requests for information,
That's better.
payment,
Okay.
even non-payment?
Test.
Are you emotionally exhausted? We can help. Call me, Doug Sunseri, longtime WWL radio host and attorney at Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm in Metairie and Mandeville at 504-837-1304. After so many years of you paying...
Okay, we're going live after Big Lou. I do have Justin on the phone. So Justin after Big Lou.
How's WWL
Mike
Radio
okay?
has been here for you when it matters.
Yeah.
You know, I've been asking for my headphones. They've been dead, my mic on my headphones. I had to go to a guitar place to buy a microphone.
In the Crescent City.
So I might have to go up there and snatch some headphones one day if they don't give it to me. In the dark at night.
Yeah, we got plenty of them.
Organizers say it was first produced as a way to bring people back to the French Quarter following the World's Fair and an extensive sidewalk repair program.
Welcome to the countdown to French Quarter Festival.
The fest now attracts more than 500,000 people to the French Quarter annually.
We love coming out here. Everyone takes a day off. We enjoy the local food, drinks, entertainment.
Just great stuff.
I love the fact that everybody looks happy.
This moment in history brought to you by Metairie Bank and Zapardo's Family Market.
I have grown up in New Orleans. I've never really been anywhere else but New Orleans.
Bill Noto has been part of the jewelry scene here in New Orleans for 3 decades. He thought he'd seen it all until he came to Diamonds Direct.
First thing that blew my mind was the prices of diamonds. And I said, there's no way you can sell this diamond at this price.
But Bill soon learned the prices were correct, and he had to join the Diamonds Direct team.
As a jeweler for 36 years and been in New Orleans for this long, I'm amazed by the prices that we have.
But it's about more than price for Bill. It's about having a selection up to 30 times a typical jeweler, the strongest warranties, higher quality, and an authentic relationship with customers.
At Diamonds Direct, we educate. We teach customers what you're buying and how you're buying it. I'm able to really get immersed with the customer and to make them happy.
So take it from a local jeweler and see for yourself what Diamonds Direct is all about.
Diamonds Direct is the best thing that's ever happened to New Orleans.
On Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We've been talking about a lot about Hurricane Ida, but we also can talk about other legal issues because we've just been consumed about this. So just give us a call, 260-1870. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to my man, Justin. Justin, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Albert. How y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. What's happening?
Well, I don't have a legal question, but when I heard Albert mention Waveland, I know that town because I'm really embarrassed to say I went to St. Stanislaus at Bay St. Louis.
Did you?
Why are you embarrassed to say that? Well, because I didn't like the school. I didn't like it.
Oh,
well, I didn't like it. But having said that, I did have friends from Waveland, and they would take me over to that little town, and Bay St. Louis is cool too. They take me to Waveland, and they had great restaurants, nice people. They actually, I remember one time they had like an outdoor market somewhere I could go out and shop doing that. And I said, I didn't know this thing existed. And I'm from Louisiana, but Mississippi is a really cool state, I have to say. And Waveland is a really cute town, so that's what I'm going to say about that.
Well, good. Well, I was sort of relieved when you said I didn't have a legal question to answer. I was wondering if you wanted to follow up on some love advice that you wanted a couple of weeks ago. And so,
honestly, I took that advice, actually. You and Michelle talked to me about that. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Has it?
Well, my little, I'm making progress.
You're making
very
progress.
Slowly, though.
You got to do,
Yeah, I keep an eye out on her. She's across the street, and she's very safe, and she's alive, and I keep an eye on her. But I really just can't pressure her to do anything. So I'm keeping an eye on her. So thank you for asking about
Yeah,
that.
I got an
Her name
idea.
is-
I got an idea for
Oh,
you.
God.
Would you?
All right.
Okay, when the garbage is out, sort of kick it around in the street, and then pick it back up and bring it in for her and say, "Look, I didn't want to be intrusive, but I got your garbage. It was strewn in the street, and I just want
Well,
to
you
pick it
know,
up."
when I wanted to do, because sometimes she's so busy, she doesn't pick up her garbage cans.
Yeah,
But if I pick up her garbage cans, I walk on her property. That's trespassing. I can't do that.
No, but if you have like if it was a situation where it was an acute like urgency, like it was like sprawled out in the street or something, and you took credit for picking it up, you don't have to tell her you knocked it down and say, hey, I didn't mean, the garbage was in the street. I just wanted to let you know. So if you wanted to know how you got the garbage back, and I just, it's all good.
So wait a minute.
Very sweet. Well, one more quick
Wait,
thing.
Albert's got a question. Albert's curious now.
Love advice now, Doug.
Justin called. Justin called, and I mean, Michelle was there, and I mean, Michelle was there, and I'm a lot. I was trying to channel back 40 years ago on what I would do in that situation, and just doing what I.
Yeah. Well, here's something. Here's something that happened at Hurricane. This happened at Hurricane Zeta.
Yeah.
And she had. It was a really cold. It was right before Hurricane Zeta. It was really cold. And the wind was blowing. Where she had a little tent protecting her tree, and the tent blew off and blew into my yard. And I didn't want to leave it there, so I went on her property and tossed over the fence. Was that a good thing to do?
Toss it over the fence?
I think it was.
For the purpose.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure her tent was okay, and I called her and told her, hey, look, your tent blew off because the winds were like 50 miles an hour, and it blows into my yard, and I didn't mind. I just made sure she got her stuff back. So I walked on her property, tossed over the fence, and I called her and let her know what happened, and she was thankful for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's part of it. You got to take credit for the good deed when you're trying to score.
Hey, I wonder.
Well, look, I know you have other people on the line. Go ahead, Albert. Go ahead.
And I wonder if she listens to the show.
I have Randy on the line with a St. Stanislaus rebuttal.
All right.
Well, if I ever get to talk to her, I'll tell her about you guys.
All right.
I'll tell her about you too.
Well, Justin, I wish you I wish you good luck, and I hope you score.
Oh, God. God bless you on that one, man. Hey, look, y'all have a great, beautiful day, and thanks for talking to me, Doug and Albert. All right.
All right.
All right.
I hope I don't get a letter from the bar association on exceeding.
No, you won't. You won't do that.
Exceeding my getting outside of my alley. All right, let's go.
No, you're doing just fine. You're doing just fine, Doug.
All right, thanks.
Take care, man.
We have a rebuttal now on the line for St. Stanislaus. Is that from Randy? Is that correct?
Yes. How you doing?
Hey,
Good
Randy.
morning.
Good morning. What you have, brother?
I went to St. Stanislaus back in the 70s, and it was the greatest time of my life. It was like I was at summer camp all the time. We had the beat. We had the activities. The brothers were great. I went to school when the brothers wore the black robes and the ropes around the waist. Okay? And they gave you structure. They gave you discipline. And if you messed up, you knew you had it coming. So all you had to do was walk the line, do what you were supposed to do, and it was the greatest time of my life. It was like I was in paradise at school. You had the activities of the pier,
sailing and everything. You had sailing classes.
You could go to the Star Theater for the movies. You could go walk around town, ride a bicycle. It was freedom. It was beautiful.
All right.
I tell you, if I could change the hands of time, I would do it again. And I mean, I guess it was in a time when times were different, but I even passed hurricanes over there. After one of the hurricanes, the brother Joseph got a flatbed, one of the school flatbed trucks, and we went on work detail, and he rode us up and down the beach all the way down to Claremont Harbor. and we picked up every board that came off the school pier, and we actually rebuilt. We unnailed them, and we walked them one at a time. And as we walked them, the brothers were nailing them back onto the pier. And it was a fun time. It was a really great time.
Were they Sacred Heart brothers? What kind of brothers were they?
Yes, the brothers were Sacred Heart, and they are affiliated. Not too many people know this, but the school on Elysian Fields, Brother Martin, is the same brothers. In fact, I went to school. I used to go hunting with the dogs with Brother Martin, the original Brother Martin. He had his own hunting dogs, and we would drive from the school early in the morning up the Kiln Road, and he would take us rabbit hunting. Wow. And we did rabbit hunting. We had, if you caddied, if you wanted to carry golf bags and caddy, you could go with the brothers. They used to golf at Diamond Head. We had more activities than you can imagine.
Did you know a guy named Gordon?
I can't believe anybody can say they didn't like it. If they didn't like it, something was wrong with them. I preferred going to school there than going to school in New Orleans. I can tell you that, because at those times, New Orleans was really, it's almost in the shape it's in now. It's bad shape. So
yeah. Let me ask you: Did you know a guy named Gordon Bowe?
No, I graduated in 75.
75.
Okay, I think Gordon was a little younger than you. He was probably
I went to school with Montleon, Dave Montleon. Okay, his dad owned the Montleon Hotel.
There you go.
They had a whole bunch of. I went to school with T. Smith and son off the riverfront. They had a lot of great people went to school there. Back in the day, it was really a different time.
I don't know that things have changed a lot. It's still a little sleepy town, and very little crime, and it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful town. Now it's growing. It's actually now it's a destination for retirement people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has really grown. Property values high. Bay St. Louis is a nice town. I went to school at Stanislaus in the old building. They were building the hurricane-proof building, that big block-looking building that's there now. I went to school in the actual old building. I remember there was days when they used to test fire the rockets at NASA.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And they used to call the school and tell the brothers, because the whole school would shake and rattle. That was the stage rockets that they were firing and testing for the moonshots.
Wow.
And the building would actually rumble and shake when the rockets went off. I remember we had no air conditioning at that time. Big roll-up wooden windows, and the gnats was so bad over there that we had to close the windows in school, and it was so hot you was dripping wet in school. And we never complained. It was awesome.
Well, Randy, I hear the music. I prefer commercial.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. Back when men were men, and we'll continue the annual WWL annual St. Stanislaus Telethon after we get back.
Thank you. Goodbye.
We'll be all things legal. We'll be right back. Thanks for the call, Randy.
Events as they happen.
During this hearing, I hope that you will see how much I love our country.
Thank you. No matter where they happen.
Nobody's going to break us. We're strong. We're Ukrainians.
Your world happens here.
The United States has increased.
Okay, we have no calls at the moment.
Ever.
Real tough agreement that blocks Iran's path to nuclear weapons.
Our country is already under attack every day in the cyber domain.
WWL, the news talk sports leader.
Mike D here for BetMGM. BetMGM welcomes you with a special offer on the tournament in Augusta. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any golfer to win. If any golfer makes a birdie during the tournament, you'll win $200 in free bets, regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use the bonus code MikeD200 when you make your first bet. Enjoy golf like never before and find out why nothing beats a win at BetMGM. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use the bonus code MikeD200 to win $200 in free bets if any golfer makes a birdie during the tournament in Augusta. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Louisiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in partnership with Samstown Shreveport Casino.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Remember the classic jingle, "There's a great work of art in every box" from Oakwood Heart? It's still true, you know. It's why Gambit readers once again voted us Best Local Jeweler. In New Orleans, being local and honest still counts for something. So does offering finer jewelry at better prices. Here in our Metairie Road showroom, we create an enormous selection of beautiful jewelry in every price range, for engagements and every one of life's special moments. Celebrate the best thing that ever happened to you with a gift from the city's best local jeweler, Oakwood Heart on Metairie Road.
Elise and Carl's Bakery needed a small business loan fast, but instead of going to On Deck, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Really? Carl?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com. And if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Veterans, whatever you're going through, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Come on down to the Silver Slipper.
Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper Casino, inviting you to join us here at the Slipper every Thursday night for our very popular Rumble on the Gulf. Now, the beach bar under the hotel will be open starting at 4 p.m. We'll have great barbecue available and live music starting at 6. So come on out and party with us while you enjoy seeing all those classic cars, Jeeps, and motorcycles that roll in every Thursday. We're on the beach here in Hancock County, Silver Slipper Casino. Proud to be your host on the coast.
Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PC and tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last
Okay, we got a short one after this, and we'll go live.
20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks.
Still no one on the phone.
Now, before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
If you're looking for real news, News Nation is new and different. News Nation doesn't take sides or lean into political agendas. Here, you get all sides. If you're looking for news without the noise, come back to the news with News Nation. News for all America. All things legal on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakwood Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Okay, this is our last St. Stanislaus reference. We got a text from Justin. He said, I remember Brother Joseph and Brother Martin. St. Stanislaus wasn't as bad as I made it out to be. So thanks to Randy. So that's it. But we're all right. Well, we're actually products of the Christian Brothers, and
We are.
Del
And
Sal and
yeah, and I went to St. Paul's, and back then there was 600 students, 300 boarders, and 300 day students. We lived across the lake, so I lived a block away from St. Paul's, so I'd walk to school every day. But I recall, different experiences that boarders had. A lot of the boarders, some of them were, parents were both working or busy or whatever, and they were sent to to St. Paul to get straightened out, and, or just because they couldn't handle a teenage boy or whatever the case may be. So there were a lot of issues with that. But for the most part, we're still a pretty close class, and the vast majority of the students that went there, that at least in my class, they loved it. It was great. Could you imagine though, a teacher taking students, rabbit hunting, giving them guns these days?
Yeah.
Oh
my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It'd be incredible.
You'd be on MSNBC
Oh, sure. Yeah.
all around.
Yeah.
But actually, I have to thank the Christian Brothers from I started learning about the law because our punishment used to be we'd have to write declarations of independence. So when we were disciplined, Brother Justin would say that's 2 decks, which means we'd have to handwrite the Declaration of Independence out of. So I started when I write, I read it, and then I got an idea, and I started. I always had about 10 or 12 on hand, so that I could either sell them or have them ready if I got in trouble. And the only mistake I did make is when Brother Justin told me I had 3 decks. I pulled it out my little folder and gave it to him right on the spot, and that wasn't a smart move. But I did learn a lot about the Declaration of Independence as I was being disciplined. So thank you, Christian Brothers. Fantastic education. Eternally grateful to them.
I agree.
Now we are a law for a show, and I don't know how we got 45 minutes later. We'll start talking about it, but I think yeah.
I do want to mention something. I was talking to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. They live in Harahan and had a roof issue, and they had replaced certain things. And so we talked about the whole recoverable depreciation thing. And a lot of people don't understand that, right? So they've gotten their estimate from the insurance company, and the insurance company maybe had depreciated $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 worth of flooring, roofing, whatever the case may be. Well, if you have a replacement cost policy, which many people have, what happens is the insurance company depreciates your claim by X amount, and when you get the work done, and they do that because they want to make sure you get that work done because they're insuring that risk, right? So they depreciate it. When you're finished, you send in your receipts, you send in photographs, of your new roof, and you say, okay, pay me my depreciation now. Send me my recoverable depreciation. So a lot of folks are not doing that. They're not being told what to do. They get a 5-page letter, with policy provisions and all this stuff. And I think by design, they just make it confusing. And then a lot of folks walk away from that. I met with a couple the other day. I said, man, did y'all put the fence back? Did you get a new roof? Yes. I said, well, take photographs, get your invoices, copies of checks that you wrote, and send that to your adjuster and say, look, we've replaced the roof and we've replaced the fence. Send us a check for the recoverable depreciation. And, they should do that, right away. And so there's a lot of money laying around out there that people just aren't aware that they can go collect. And, don't need to hire a lawyer to do it. Just, look at your paperwork, see how much they depreciated it, see what they did depreciate. And once you've made that repair, send it in, and they should send you that money without delay.
Yeah, and when it's probably a good idea, you can send them a picture or some type of what's the best verification to show that you finished the job.
Well, whatever you got. I mean, if you got invoices that you paid a roofer, hey, I wrote him a check for this, and here's a copy of the check, copy the invoice, and stand back and take a picture of your roof to show that you've replaced it, and then they've got to send you that depreciation. If you've got some damage inside and you have carpets, they depreciate the heck out of carpets. Because carpeting is something that's usually pretty worn and whatever, and so if you got flooring and carpeting and whatever, they will depreciate it pretty heavily. You can, once you replace it, take photographs of it and send it in, and they should send you that money.
Now, I've looked at some claim summaries, and I saw some depreciation on items that probably shouldn't have a lot of depreciation on. What are some of the items that are
like certainly drywall. I mean, drywall is drywall. You shouldn't really depreciate anything on drywall. If ceramic tile floors and things like that. I mean, those things really could technically last forever. And if your grout might get dirty here or there, you can clean it or regrout it. But I mean, a lot of that stuff. And again, when you get to trial, it's always a good thing to do to cross-examine that adjuster on where he got these depreciation figures. How did you calculate this depreciation? What schedule did you use? Give me that information. Or did you just make it up? They look kind of old, so the useful life is X amount a year, and it just looked to be this way. Well, that seems kind of arbitrary. That's unless there's some really firm basis for them doing that. Same thing with fencing. I mean, a fence after a couple of years can look weathered and silver, and it could only be 2 or 3 years old. And so, without them knowing, a lot of times they'll depreciate it pretty substantially. And I got to tell you, I put up a fence at my house, and it's been there for 20 years. I painted that surface on there, and it's lasted for 20 years. And so, don't think that a fence will depreciate in 3 or 4 or 5 years down to almost zero. So it's something that is out there that's an extra probably few $1,000s that a lot of people are just
walk away from,
unaware of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they walk away from it. All right. And real quick before we go to break, how long do you have to get your recoverable depreciation back?
Well, you got to look at the policy. Some of them say as early as 6 months, which is silly. And some of them say you got up to 2 years. So, again, the argument is, well, you hadn't paid me everything that I'm entitled to. So how can I get it? How can I get it fixed? And without the money I'm supposed to be paid. You paid me for one section of my roof when the roofer, told everyone, hey, look, this is all lifted up. And it's funny, you hear all kinds of different reasons why they don't want to pay for the whole roof. It's just it's games that I think when you get to trial.
I was going to tell you a little anecdote after the break on one of the reasons they didn't do it and how we dealt with it, and how you as a homeowner can deal with it also if you get in the same situation. So we're going to take a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
A bad team facing a good team is never completely out of it.
Nick Costos, co-host of You Better You Bet, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on the BetQL network.
There's 162 games in the season. The best teams are going to lose 60-plus times, and the worst teams are going to win 60-plus times.
Okay, I'll have 5 minutes to fill before top of the hour news break.
So much fun.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costos and Ken Barkley, streaming weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey.
Bobby Aber, KJ Cannon here. This baseball season, turn K's into cash and big hits into big wins with FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers could step up to the plate with a risk-free first bet up to $1,000. Just sign up, place your first bet, and FanDuel will refund
Last
you
spot in this set is Babel.
If you don't win. Look, it's great promotions every day, safe and secure app, and you get paid fast. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code ABEAR. That's HEBERT to get started with your risk-free first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code ABEAR. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days to receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Make this year stand out in a good way with the gift of breathtaking diamond jewelry. Each piece a great work of art in a box from Oak Heart. Choose from classics like diamond tennis bracelets. And everybody's wearing diamond stackable jewelry these days. Our stackables are on everyone's wish list. At Oak Heart, you'll find a huge selection of rings, earrings, bracelets, and necklaces from all the designers you love, like David Yurman, Penny Prevost, Mikimoto Pearls, and Margot Bichigo. And, of course, we invite you to shop the Oak Heart collection, designed exclusively for New Orleans by our award-winning master craftsmen, right here in our Metairie Road store. Just listen to this online review from Francis. Oak Heart is very different than I expected. Everyone was so down to earth, making me feel most comfortable. 5 stars to your company and your employees. Frances knows what she's talking about. And remember, at Oak Heart Jewelers, you'll find breathtaking in every price range. Come check us out on Metairie Road.
Brandon Hawley here. Premium Windows. Professionally measured, professionally installed. ReliefWindows.com.
Rejuvenate your mornings with Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
Where do you go when you want to sell your gold or silver coins?
CausewayCoinCo.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
I have June on the line, wants to talk about liens.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to phone line. Let's go to June. She's got questions about liens, and you're calling at the right time because you got the expert on liens with Albert about to answer. What you got for us? Hey, June.
Well, this is a guy, June.
Oh, I'm sorry. The dude, June. All right. We got you.
That's okay. That's okay. Just a quick question about liens. I was thinking about, and I'm trying to, I guess, figure out how to go about doing it, placing a lien on someone's property. And the second question is, this is just a general question. If someone attempts to sue you, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's a contractor, whether it's a homeowner, is it the law, or what do you call it? Is it something that you have to respond to if someone sues you? I mean, it could be for anything. I'm just asking a question. Do you have to respond to a suit?
Let's start with that question. Absolutely, yes. If you get served with a lawsuit, it could be totally made up. It could be total nonsense. But if you don't respond to it, and the party that files the lawsuit can come in and take a default judgment, meaning all they do is go into the court, put on their evidence. You're not there to defend it. You're not there to put on any countervailing evidence, and they get a judgment against you. And after a certain period of time, that judgment, the delays for appeal run, and therefore it is a judgment. And there's really very little you can do, if anything, to overturn that judgment, and they can start collecting on it. So, yes, the answer is absolutely yes. When you get sued, there's a certain time period within which to respond, Get it to a lawyer. If you're insured, get it to an insurance company. You turn it over to your insurance agent. Yes, absolutely. File a response. It's something you'll be in real trouble if you don't. And we get it all the time. Hey, look, I got this judgment. They're now garnishing my wages. What do I do? There's not a whole lot you can do. We go back and check to make sure they served you properly, et cetera. But beyond that, yes, I can't emphasize it strongly enough.
So basically, you're saying if someone sues you, no matter what it's for, you definitely, it's your duty to respond to that lien. I'm sorry, not lien, that suit. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
All right.
And the second question was about the liens.
Okay. Well, I don't know that we're going to have time. We got about a minute left. If you want to call back after the break, we'll take you.
Oh, sure. No problem.
Yeah, because I'll have a bunch of questions to ask you about the timing of it and all that sort of thing.
All right. Sure. So June the guy. We're going to have you call back right after we go to the news break and in about 10 minutes, and we'll because liens are very complicated, and they're they have a lot of provisions, a lot of time periods, a lot of times when you can and cannot file liens, whether you're a subcontractor or contractor. So Albert's going to dissect that, unpack, and if there's any law students listening, you'll get about a whole semester of liens in about 5 minutes. So it'll be a lot more concise. So there you go. All right. So we'll talk to you in a few minutes. Yeah, Albert, before we get off, just as a preview on liens, there's a lot of time periods that are involved, a lot of who can file liens.
The laws changed. Yeah, the laws changed recently. They extended some time periods. They've increased the dollar amount where you have to file a notice of lien prior to performing any work. So things have changed a little bit, and then they've tightened up some of the requirements of what needs to be placed in the lien, of full property descriptions, because you have to do that because you want the clerk of court where you file the lien needs to know exactly which property the lien is going to be placed on. So you have to give them a full property description, and that way the clerk can record it properly. And so yeah, there are a lot of, and if it's not, then your lien's no good and it gets thrown out. And we can go through what the purposes of the lien are. Basically, it's a privilege on the real estate, and so you can always file suit for breach of contract. But what this does is it kind of ties up the real estate, and if there's like a construction loan or something like that on the property, then they're not going to be real happy with the fact that the owner didn't pay a contractor, and that their construction loan is somehow in jeopardy now. So it can give you some advantages beyond just filing a suit for breach of contract.
That's right. All right, so we're going. Hour number one's in the can. We're going to national news, local news. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. For hour number two, we'll be on till 10 o'clock on all things legal. So we see you in about 10 minutes.
The News Talk Sports Leader, WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington. Russian forces have withdrawn from around Kyiv, with the fighting now concentrated in southern Ukraine and in the east. The latest deadly attack on a train station packed with civilians trying to flee further points to Russian President Putin engaging in acts of war crimes. President Zelensky spoke about that with CBS's Scott Pelley for tonight's 60 Minutes.
What evidence is there of war crimes across Ukraine? The Ukrainian Security Service has intercepted communications, he told us. There are Russian soldiers talking to their parents about what they stole and who they abducted. There are recordings of Russian prisoners of war who admitted to killing people.
This just in, 2 people are dead, at least 10 injured after a shooting at a downtown Cedar Rapids nightclub early this morning. The shooting happened just before 1:30 a.m. at the Taboo nightclub and lounge. While police haven't released any information about suspects or arrests, they do say there is no threat to public safety. Israeli soldiers killed an unarmed Palestinian woman near the occupied West Bank today. Our Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem.
The Israeli army said the woman, a 47-year-old widow and mother of 6, approached troops in what they called a suspicious manner. They said they fired into the air, and when she did not stop, they shot and killed her. The army later said she was not armed.
The incident comes amid a crackdown following a number of deadly attacks by Palestinian militants. Hundreds of parents, educators, and daycare providers gathered in Boston with a call to action to make early education and childcare more affordable and accessible. WBZ reporter Suzanne Sausville.
Andrew Farnatano with the Common Start Coalition says unless the state legislature makes childcare and early education more affordable, many kids in the Bay State don't have the opportunity to shine.
It's more than the cost of our mortgage.
Latoya Gale has 4 kids and is paying for daycare and college at the same time.
And they're the same price.
Many at the rally say finding care is hard enough, then when they do find it, they struggle to afford it. Word from the Masters, Tiger looks tired.
This is Steve Futterman in Augusta. Tiger Woods' remarkable return to golf here at the Masters continues. He is set to tee off for the final round in around a half hour. He is no longer in contention for the championship, but just competing this week as a victory of sorts. The leader going into the final round is American Scotty Scheffler. He has a 3-stroke lead. He is looking for his first major championship.
Yeah, after Tiger bogeyed 7 of the 18 holes yesterday, he's not going to win that green jacket for the 6th time. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM/FM and .com.
Well, happy weekend. Today featuring plenty of sunshine, and that's going to help drive our temperatures into the lower to mid 70s. The winds are going to pick up as well, slightly breezy conditions lasting into the evening hours.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Gunplay in New Orleans again last night. WWL TV's Dennis Wooltring has the story.
A violent weekend continued overnight in New Orleans, where we've had several shootings since Friday. The most recent happened just before 3 a.m. in the Little Woods area of New Orleans East. Police say a female was shot at the intersection of Bullard Avenue and Hain Boulevard. She arrived to the hospital on her own. No other details are available at this time. Meantime, police are also investigating a shooting at the intersection of Maurice Duncan Drive and Abundant Street. That's where a male was shot just before midnight. The victim was taken to the hospital by EMS. If you have any information that may help investigators in either of these shootings, call New Orleans Police or call Crime Stoppers, 504-822-1111. And remember, you can remain anonymous.
A Louisiana state trooper is under arrest. With the story, WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta.
Investigators allege it was actually the trooper who caused a hit and run. State police say last year, Lieutenant Chad Lacoste hit a car on Highway 22 in his unmarked police car and drove off. The next day, he reported he'd been the victim of a hit and run. An investigation found evidence he was lying, and he's now charged with malfeasance in office.
Here's Sean Ross with WWL Sports.
Bring it to the blender. The Pelicans locked up the 9th seed of the NBA play-in tournament. They'll host San Antonio Wednesday night at 8:30. But first, the Pels will finish out the regular season tonight at SKC against the Warriors. Tip-off also at 8:30. Not much of a cat and dog fight. LSU won its 9th straight series yesterday over Mississippi State in Starkville. The Tigers bullpen kept the Bulldogs on a short leash, combining for 5 shutout innings, just 3 hits, and 10 strikeouts. Head coach Jay Johnson said the game was full of magic moments and may have created a new slogan for his bullpen.
Magic moment is an inherited runner. Do not score. Okay, great win. Okay, seriously, that's a great win.
The Tigers go for the sweep later today. Catch all the action right here on WWL. Pre-game coverage begins at 12:30. First pitch is at 1. And the final round of the Masters already underway. Tiger Woods made it to the weekend but struggled on Saturday, shooting a 78. Your final pair in Scotty Scheffler, who's won 3 times on tour since February, and the Aussie Cameron Smith, who won the Players' Championship last month. Sean Ross, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Another chilly start to the morning. You may need a jacket heading out, but this afternoon looks beautiful. Upper 70s, lots of sunshine, but it will be quite breezy. This time our winds will be out of the south, and it will be a touch humid across the area. As we begin the work week, partly cloudy skies to begin our Monday with temperatures in the lower 80s, and it'll be breezy, and a pop-up shower is possible. Tuesday will be a repeat of Monday, where a stray shower is possible. It'll be breezy with highs reaching the lower 80s. And then Wednesday, a cold front is expected to move through, and that is going to trigger scattered showers and some thunderstorms, which may become strong to severe, and we may see pockets of heavy rain brief. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL-TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Art Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans.
Back on.
Here are attorneys Albert Nicaud,
Not yet.
Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Give us a call at 260-1870 or call us on a talk and Oakland Heart Talk and text line. You can text us any questions. We've got a few questions we're going to get to in a few minutes. I think June may call back and we'll talk about liens. But in the meantime, what I wanted to talk about was, I guess Hurricane Ida and some of the things that have occurred and some things that could help the listeners in addressing their present, issues involving trying to get full payment for their insurance claim. And, WWL has dedicated a lot of time for the issue right after the hurricane. And, we've received a lot of good feedback that people have taken the information and said, hey, I did, we took some of the things that you'd said and you broke down the 180-page insurance policy and a few concepts that we can understand and help get our money. But one of the things, Albert, was roofs. I had an interesting interaction this weekend. We had a roof where the insurance company sort of hedged and said, we'll pay for about half the roof, which it's got its own issues. And then, so they paid for a good portion of it, but there was about $6,000 left. And the homeowner the homeowner just wanted the minus $6,000, wasn't interested in finding any additional money or claims, or it's very limited claim, roof only. And they got so frustrated they did contact us. And when we sent in the demand and we got the adjuster on the phone and said we have an estimate. The estimate states that the roof needs to be replaced. It gives a good explanation to it, and it was one of the better explanations I said. And I said, what is the insurance company's position? And the adjuster said, well, the estimate doesn't state how many squares it's in the estimate. And so therefore we're not going to pay. And I said, okay, let's stop right there. I said, I want you to do two things. I said, one, I'm going to turn on my recorder on my phone right now, and I'm going to ask you a direct question as to why the insurance company is not going to pay for the remainder of this roof. And I said, will you please speak very clearly and distinctly as to the reason why, so we're both on the same page. And so we got into, she said, well, I'm not going to speak on a recorder. I said, well, what was your answer as to why you didn't want to do it? I said, that was your answer. So if that's your answer, let's be all on the same page so that if we go in front of a judge, it's going to be easy to let him decide and we'll know where we stand. And she refused to do that. And I said, well, second alternative, will you immediately write me an email stating this is the reason why you're denying the claim? And just state it just like you did before. I respect what you do. I understand you have a job to do. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And at that point, she said, I'll get back with you. Let me get off the phone. 10 minutes later, we got a letter saying they would pay the $5,800 or $6,000. And my point in saying this is, if you're in that situation where you submitted information where you got an air conditioning unit that needs to be replaced, and you've submitted some good estimates, and it's really sort of a no-brainer that they should pay, that's what maybe you could ask them to do. Say, okay, you please do me a favor. A, can I record this conversation so that we understand why you didn't do it? Or B, write a letter. And it seemed to be, it just, turned things around very quickly, and a check's in the mail.
Yeah, and the other thing you can do is, if they refuse to put it in writing, then you turn around and send them an email. This confirms our conversation at 2:00 this afternoon, wherein you advised that the reason you were not doing XYZ was because of, whatever. And then put the ball in their court. If they don't respond and they don't deny that, then that's good evidence at trial to establish that, look, we sent you this my client sent you this email. Why didn't you respond to it? You're now changing your story. Why didn't you correct my insured right away if that's what they did? We're talking to a client. They were telling that the roofer came out and they had a reinspection. So they got their roofer to come out, and he hopped on the roof with the adjuster, and he says, look, let's go around this section, and he's just lifting up the shingles. And he said, look, they're not sealed. There's debris in here, so we've got to replace this roof. And their response was, well, those will seep back down. And he said, well, it's been 8 months, and they haven't seated back down, and and reattached. And they said, oh, well, wait till the summer. We'll get that summer sun, and the summer sun will reseal those tiles, those roofing shingles. And I'm thinking to myself, how absurd is that? First of all, it got pretty hot in September, if you recall, right after the storm. Temperatures were in the 90s. And also, is it the insured's obligation now to say, wait a minute, I'm going to wait 10 months or 9 months with my roof compromised for the sun to come up to 90-something, 100 degrees and reseat those, if they do, and so it's such a crazy response. If your roof is not resealed, and it's 7, 8, 9 months later, whatever it is, it needs to be replaced. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And any judge, jury, whatever, is going to see that and going to see how arbitrary and capricious, which are the terms of art in the statute, that the insurance company was, or the adjuster was, in making those absurd comments. But those are the kinds of things we're getting, over and over and over again. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. When and then all of a sudden you get a lawyer on the line after you file suit, and they're like, "Yeah, I kind of see what you mean. Let me see what we can do to try to get this resolved." I'm like, "Listen, I've had to file suit. It's gonna, my original demand has gone up now, right? And so it's just you gotta prepare your case yourself, like Doug said. Get it in writing, get an email, get something confirming their bogus reasons why they don't want to pay you, and their arbitrary reasons for not paying, and have that piece of evidence available when the time comes, or if the time comes.
Now, some homeowners and business owners are experiencing this, is that, especially for the larger loss, and maybe you could, respond on how to deal with it, but they have a large loss, and the insurance company sends out an engineer. And then the engineer comes back with a report that says a lot of this roof damage was pre-existing. A lot of the water stain and damage within the interior is pre-existing and was there before the hurricane. That a lot, maybe a lot of the water got through the windows, but it wasn't through a storm-created opening, but it was due to the defective insulation. How do you deal with those type of issues? How do you respond to that?
Well, at that point, you really, it's been a question of experts. Remember the Jerry Maguire, help me, help you, right? So you're going to have to, at that point, get an engineer that's going to go in there and say, the force of the winds, compromise the seals on the windows. The testimony of the insured will say, no, there were no stains or spots on my ceiling before this storm, and therefore, what are you talking about? How does the insurance company then prove otherwise, right? I mean, they can't, because they were not in your home prior to the storm. A lot of times you can ask the insured to go dig up old pictures on their phone, or photographs from holidays or parties or something, where hey, look, look at this stain I have on the ceiling or on the wall, and here's a photograph from 6 months earlier, and there are no stains. So it's just they got to play the game. I mean, I just had one with a reception hall that I represent, and they got an engineer to go out there to say, the stucco was fine and everything's great, and then the photographs that they took were from a distance and from behind trees, and so when our contractor went out there, he got up close and showed how all of the fancy molding, around like the crown molding around the top of the stucco was just beaten up, and there were big holes and knots and everything in the stucco from debris hitting it. And you could see moisture behind the walls in his photographs, where the section where the moisture was behind the wall was not in the insurance company's experts' photographs. So, they're playing a game, and I can't wait to get that expert engineer on the stand, and see how much money he makes from his insurance companies, and what percentage of his business is from insurance companies, and why he didn't examine this and take these photographs. So, I sent all that information to the adjuster, and I said, well, take a look at these photographs. This was inspected properly, and waiting to hear back. But it's frustrating, and I get it. I mean, the poor folks are just trying to get their lives back together. And, I really think that once a couple of these cases are tried and the insurance companies get smacked, they'll start settling. They'll find their checkbook, right? And listen, I've been told by others that even cases that are not IDA claims or insurance claims, the insurance companies are being demonized and getting hit pretty hard with high judgments in personal injury cases and in construction cases and whatever else, because juries are fed up. They're just fed up with the way things have been going. And if you recall, Doug, I started my career, as an insurance defense attorney. I worked in-house with USF&G Insurance Company. I represented a number of insurance companies after USF&G pulled out of the state. And so probably for the first 10 years or so of my career, that's what I did. And then, Hurricane Katrina hits, and I see what all these insurance companies are doing to, the citizens of the city and the state and whatever. And I made the jump. Again, I still defend folks. I still, defend contractors and whatever. But, in terms of the insurance companies, some of the stuff you hear from these adjusters, and again, I'm not saying it's a company policy or anything like that, but, they're all trying to make good and do well. Hey, look, I settled this case for this. Instead of just being reasonable, pay what's owed, don't overpay. And, they put us out of a job if they were doing the right thing.
That's right. We'd be talking about something else. That's for sure. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
When you listen to Scoot, you're listening to rock and roll history.
Today in 1970 was on this day in 1998. I'll never forget the way I felt.
Okay, I have Mike on the line. He would like further information about recoverable depreciation.
On the air for the first time and knowing it was going to be a huge hit.
It's a perspective on the history of rock you can't get anywhere else from someone who's lived it.
Honestly, I'm lucky to be alive.
Scoot on the air, weekdays 1 to 4 on WWL.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800.
Okay, the last spot of the set is Keith's Heating and Air Conditioning.
2790.
If you're looking for real news, News Nation is new and different. News Nation doesn't take sides or lean into political agendas. Here, you get all sides. If you're looking for news without the noise, come back to the news with News Nation. News for all America.
Celebrating a century of broadcasting. For 100 years, WWL Radio has been here for you when it matters most. Here's another moment in history.
It was 1958. Chuck Berry was making music history, and in New Orleans for the first time, drivers could travel from one side of the river to the other. In April, construction was finally complete on the Greater New Orleans Bridge. In 1981, construction began on the second span and opened with tolls in 1989 with the new name Crescent City Connection. In 2013, voters lifted those tolls, much to the delight of then Plaquemines Parish President Billy Nungesser.
The people rose up and said, we're not going to take it anymore.
The toll booths were later removed and the lanes reconfigured.
This moment in history brought to you by Metairie Bank and Zapardo's Family Market.
Everybody has a story, a dream. We don't always know where it'll take us, even against all odds.
I was born small. They said I was weak, that I wouldn't make it, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But through the years, I've shown them what heart looks like. Again and again. I've had help. Mom got me the right care and the right doctors from the start, with Blue Cross coverage.
When health issues surface, it's good to know you can rely on the strength of the cross and protection of the shield. Your card opens the door to a large network of quality providers to care for you.
Now, I'm the one breaking hearts. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them.
With the right card, the right care, you can get back to your story and to making your dream a reality. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana.
Louisiana has over 26,000 licensed companies that do business legally and meet the needs of our state. Before selecting a contractor, check references and verify the license at lacontractor.org. It's your money. Make wise decisions and protect yourself from being scammed.
For fast relief, call Keith.
Did you okay, we go after this, and we have Mike on the air from Metairie. Let's talk about recoverable depreciation.
Who's that, Mike? Electrical can install a
That's correct.
quality system to remove virtually all the contaminants in your home. Call them today and save $250 off your new indoor air quality system. For a healthier home, for better breathing, and for fast relief, call Keith.
Keith's Air Conditioning and Heating.
And now electrical.
For fast relief, call Keith.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. We're going to go to Mike in a second, but WWL is your home for LSU baseball. Here, Game 3 between the LSU Tigers and the Mississippi State Bulldogs, live in Stark Vegas, Mississippi today. Pre-game at 12:30. First pitch at 1. LSU's already won the series. Can we sweep? Man, they're good. They had their bullpen. If they can get the starting pitching into the fourth or fifth inning, man, they have a bullpen. And the bats are starting to come alive. Timely hitting. I am blocking out 2 weeks in June for the College World Series in Omaha. So I think we're heading there. All right. Now, first thing first. Let's get a home regional and a home super regional. And so go Tigers. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Mike's got a question regarding recoverable depreciation. Hey, Mike, you on All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I kind of just caught the tail end of it on the recoverable depreciation. I have like a $17,000 deductible. So you're actually saying you can possibly get some money back prior to meeting the deductible?
Hey, Mike, we're having a difficult time hearing you. I don't know if you need to turn your radio down or maybe get off a speakerphone, but it's a lot of reverb.
Yeah, what Mike was asking about was the interaction between his $19,000 deductible and the recoverable depreciation. Is that right, Mike?
Yes. It was 17,000, but yes.
17,000.
Yes. Can you get some money back, for doing repairs prior to meeting the $17,000 deductible?
Well, I mean, if you don't meet your deductible, it doesn't matter if they've depreciated it or not. I mean, the portion of your deductible, if it's $17,000 and the extent of your damages are only $12,000, regardless of whether they've depreciated any of it, you're still not going to meet that amount. So,
Well, they said that my damages were over $17,000, but not a lot. It was like $22,000 worth of damages. But I don't have that $17,000 deductible. I had my roof repaired. They gave me a whole roof, but I had my roof repaired a couple of days prior to them giving me the estimate on damages because my roof was leaking. I had pipes in the attic and buckets and all stopping, so I wouldn't, ruin my ceiling. So how does that fall into it? Because of the fact that I didn't have my roof totally replaced.
well, I mean, you have a duty under the policy to mitigate your damages or to make them less. So if you need to make an emergency repair, and there's a provision in the policy for emergency repairs, not only do they, is that part of it, they expect you to do that to maintain coverage. You have a duty to protect it if you can. So get it tarped. If you can, replace a few shingles just to keep the heavy water from coming in. You have a duty to do that. So you did the right thing, and actually they will pay you that in addition to, if you need a new roof, they'll pay you that in addition to the new roof, or they should, because they're supposed to pay for emergency repairs, including tarping, including whatever you paid out of pocket for that.
But you would have still had to meet the $17,000 deductible to collect it.
Correct. Yes. If you don't meet that deductible, then there's really nothing that they owe, regardless of whether they've applied depreciation to your estimate.
Right. And so let me ask you one more question. I had my roof repaired, and it wasn't a minor repair. I actually had 300 square feet of roofing replaced. Okay, there was a company across the street doing a whole roof, and they finished up early enough to do mine that same day. So I spent about $2,300 on that. Do I not have coverage on my roof if I don't replace the whole roof?
You mean moving forward?
Moving forward, yes. Since, my roof is intact. Like I said, I replaced 300 square feet.
I think if you have the same insurance company, they would be hard-pressed to say, oh, you only needed a roof repair, and then you make the repair, and then all of a sudden, they're going to be hard-pressed to say, oh, well, you didn't replace your roof, therefore, we're not going to cover it.
But they said I needed a whole roof and gave me a whole roof in my estimate.
Okay, they did give you the whole roof. Okay.
Yeah, but if you
only for the roof repair,
well, then you're probably not going to be covered next go around.
You may or may not.
Yeah, depends. Depends.
It can. They may go back and look to see what your claim summary is. One of the things you could maybe do is shop around for different coverage, and then you'll have a different insurer, that won't have access to that claim summary.
Right. Yeah, I thought about that. Okay, that's all my questions. I think you've answered them.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thanks for the call. Albert, I have a question for you on a Hurricane Ida. And it's come up a few times. Is that if you have a lot, some stucco houses, and you have divots in the stucco house, and the insurance company only wants to pay for a repair of that area, but if you repair that, you'll have two different, tones of stucco. You have the repaired with a different color as the rest of the house. How should you deal with that?
Well, again, if the stucco was blended, right, so where they put the color in the stucco, so it's the same color all the way through, you could probably work something out with them. Hey, look, I need you to do this entire, south wall, because the south wall was damaged, and so it would be close enough if you're looking at it from two different angles to the right color. That's probably a good compromise instead of, hey, just giving me this little 10-foot by 10-foot section. You'll never match it. There's going to be a seam. A lot of times you have EFIS, which is that, the synthetic stucco without a scratch coat and all that. And, that installation, they can do it right, but most people did not do it right. And so, there's lots of problems with that. But it just in terms of stucco in general, you would at least need to do an entire wall, or facing, if it's facing south, north, east, whatever. And that would probably do the trick. I mean, it's the same thing with vinyl siding, right? I got vinyl siding ripped off. We're going to put new siding on. Well, this siding's, 15 years old. You're putting brand new siding on. It's not going to match. But, if again, a fair compromise, I think, would be replace the siding on this entire wall so it will match. And then, if I'm looking at it from two different directions, it look like shadow lines or whatever. And, the newer stuff could be close enough to where, the color matches well enough, on two different angles.
All right, because and that's like in kind, and those are a lot of issues because a lot of insurance companies say we're just going to fix the patch and that's it, and if it doesn't match, that's your problem. Yeah,
exactly.
All right.
It's just trying to work out a compromise. I think they'd be more willing to do that than, hey, look, I lost 10 pieces of vinyl siding. You got to, re-side the whole house because it's not going to match. Well, that's a little extreme. But again, if you can get that one wall done and it all matches together, then I think that's a fair compromise.
All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
The events shaping our world.
What Russia is doing is the continued brutalization of Ukraine.
Okay, gentlemen, I have Brian on the phone from New Orleans. Has a question about an asbestos roof. Asbestos roof, I don't know.
The United States has increased its petroleum production to the highest level ever.
Brian from New Orleans.
Schools, increased funding for child care and health care services.
News doesn't stop. And neither do we. WWL.
Mike D here for BetMGM. BetMGM welcomes you with a special offer on the tournament in Augusta.
The last spot is going to be a podcast spot after Babel.
If any golfer makes a birdie during the tournament, you'll win $200 in free bets, regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use the bonus code MikeD200 when you make your first bet. Enjoy golf like never before and find out why nothing beats a win at BetMGM. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use the bonus code MikeD200 to win $200 in free bets if any golfer makes a birdie during the tournament in Augusta. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Louisiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in partnership with Sam's Town Shreveport Casino.
When you ask people here what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler, for some, it's the unbeatable pricing. We get it through our direct importer, no middleman connections, the foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's uncompromising quality, from hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings, only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom, with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees, and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing. It's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PATH for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code PATH to earn 25 cents a gallon or more on your first tank. That's code PATH.
No boat shows? No problem. Boat Stuff has over 100 boats on order. Come in today for boat show savings on Boat Stuff's full line of coastal boats, including Avid, Blue Wave, Vexus, Sea Fox, and Regulator. Boats and Yamaha motors are coming in weekly, all with boat show savings. Make no waves about it. Get your boat and Yamaha outboard from Boat Stuff in Slidell, Harvey, Port Sulphur, and Hammond, or at boatstuff.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
It's pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently. I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures. Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Find podcasts for your passions on Odyssey.
Okay, we go after this. We got Brian from New Orleans. He has an asbestos roof. I guess this would be asbestos mitigation.
To murder one member of our community.
Or the 11th.
Bringing you true, unexpected stories.
And experience the new podcast movie thriller Ghost Rider.
Starring Kate Mara and Adam Scott.
Maybe it's not a whodunit. If we know who the killer is all along, the real mystery is why.
Find all the podcasts that matter to you in a universe of audio.
Odyssey.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Brian. He's got some questions regarding asbestos roofs. Hey, Brian, what you got for us, brother?
Hey, guys. Good morning. I hope you guys realize what an incredible service you're doing for this community. I mean, it is just incredible to have all this information out there on the air from other people's stories.
Well, thank Diane. Yeah, thank you, and thank Diane Newman at WWL. She allows us to come on. So, what you got for us, Brian?
Diane was the power behind Garland for so many years. We loved her.
There you go.
Listen, so the field adjuster comes out, does his job, and you walk religiously behind the guy, and he writes everything down. He says, absolutely, this is part of it, this is part of the claim, this is part of the claim. When it gets back from the desk adjuster at the insurance company, they end up sending you a check for a quarter to maybe a third of what this guy wrote down. And I keep asking the people, I said, please send me a copy of what the field adjuster sent you. Oh, no, we can't do that. Well, I've got an asbestos roof, a 150-year-old house. It's a wonderful roof. It's held up, forever. Probably the best roofing material ever made if you don't breathe it. They want to replace a dozen tiles. There's not a roofer in his right mind that would take on an asbestos roof repair post-hurricane. Not to mention legally at any point in time. So you go back. I will go back to these guys and I said, look, here's the estimates. Nobody wants to repair an asbestos roof, and it's damaged the tar paper underneath a lot of the roof from the wind blowing through it. 80, 90 miles an hour winds continuously for hours. No, we're not going to pay for an entire roof. Well, now they're dropping my insurance because I have an asbestos roof, and none of the other insurance companies want to insure me because, one, I have an unrepaired roof, and two, I have an asbestos roof.
Yep. So, what you're going to have to do, unfortunately, is get a hold of an attorney.
We have Jimmy from Gretna, more Ida.
Not only do you have a remove and replace, you've got asbestos abatement.
I know.
And so
any good lawyers?
Sealed off. There's a whole protocol. And listen, the reality of it is, they had the opportunity to inspect this property when they bound your coverage.
Oh, they knew it was asbestos when they bound it. They knew it was an asbestos roof when they bound it because I have communications going back and forth between me and the insurance agent talking about the asbestos.
Exactly. So they wrote the coverage, they knew the risks, and now they don't want to step up to the plate. And that's the issue you have. And I mean, I think it's a pretty good case for a full replacement with the asbestos abatement, with everything else. And the good news is it's probably a very expensive roof, and it would be, you would file suit. They would likely get removed to federal court. I do know federal court is on a fast track. They're trying to get these IDA claims resolved as quickly as possible. So the discovery process is fast. At this point, you want to get your experts in line. You want to get get in the internet, try to find an asbestos abatement company to give you an idea, as to how much it's going to cost.
I've already got all the estimates. I've already got an independent adjuster involved. Right. He was actually working as a contractor, not an independent adjuster. But I mean, the question is, how to file a lawsuit? Does that cover your fees as well, or does that just give me the total claim, and then a part of that goes to you guys?
No, so we're actually not a third. It's a property damage claim, and we want it's a lesser amount than that. We want to make sure that our clients get as close to whole as possible. But at the end of the day, if suit is filed and we are awarded attorney's fees, you can be awarded attorney's fees if you can establish that the insurance company was arbitrary and capricious in failing to pay the claim once they've had satisfactory proof of loss. And so, they're going to say, oh, well, we relied on our engineer, and so, we had a valid reason for denying the claim. But again, if they wrote a policy on an asbestos roof and they knew it was an asbestos roof, and now they don't, other companies don't want to write that type of roof. And this is what it's going to take. And you've got roofing experts that have been in the business for years that have dealt with these types of roofs and abatement contractors and that sort of thing. I think you can establish that you would be entitled to your attorney fees and penalties. And the penalty, if they are found to be arbitrary and capricious, is 50% of the damages awarded. So, they've got a lot to lose on the back end, so they better really have a good case for denial. And at worst case, you end up losing a percentage of what the cost would be to replace it at trial.
And you end up not being able to replace the roof.
Or contributing or paying using your uninsured money to pay it, or just to supplement.
They got a loan to finish replacing your roof.
Yeah.
What do you say? You say in the federal courts are fast tracking this. How long does it take to get it to remove to federal court and get it through a fast track?
I mean, I've got one set. We're calling next week to pick a trial date, and my guess is it's going to be very quick. So, we filed it maybe 2 months ago, engaged in some discovery. And so I'm thinking, within a 6-month period, you'll have your answer. So, unfortunately, you're you're in the hurricane season again.
Yeah. And if we have a hurricane develop, you can't even write a policy. What do you think about the difference between taking this to court and suing these people, or suing these people and taking it to court, as opposed to taking it to the appraisal process?
Well, the appraisal process, the problem with that is it's really dependent on who your appraiser ends up being. And that's mostly a cost estimate thing. How we think it's this, we think it's this, and the appraiser will give you the cost on it. But you can still file suit for penalties and attorney fees, but you're stuck with that number.
Yeah.
So it might be a quicker option, but
now what we're doing,
Go ahead.
What we're doing on the appraisal process is, if you go to the appraisal process, you probably get a answer disposition within a month and a half, 2 months. Now, what we're doing is, even after the appraisal process, when they give the number, we still file suit saying that you should have paid something undisputed way before the appraisal process was invoked. In other words, there was some undisputed damages that you held back that you should have paid out before you invoked the appraisal process as bad faith. So therefore, that's one way to try to get your costs back. If they held back their money, you get your money for the appraisal process, then you file suit for bad faith, and hopefully you might be able to get some of your costs back. Now, under the appraisal process, unfortunately, you'll have to pay for your own appraiser, which might cost a couple $1,000s, and also you'd have to pay for half the umpire and most of the policies.
Gotcha.
Well, and it's my understanding you've got your appraiser already. He's already appraised the amount, and you've got your experts. So the other half you'd have to split the cost of the umpire.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call. Let's go to our final break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had.
We've got Jimmy from Gretna,
You need to call Big Lou.
Ida, and we will have about 7 minutes. before the top of the hour end of the show.
You're with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898.
Okay, we have another Big Lou here. I don't know why they did this, but right after that, it is Nexstar, which will tell us about news coverage.
I love you than with a pair of diamond stud earrings from Oakland Heart Jewelers. Let me read you this online review from Kristen. Ahem. I purchased an absolutely beautiful pair of diamond stud earrings today at Oakland Heart. They treated me like a superstar. The thing is, the diamond stud earrings that come in a box from Oakland Heart, they're each a true work of art. An Oakland Heart family member personally searches through hundreds of diamonds and chooses only those with the most fire and brilliance. Don't think for a minute that all diamonds are alike. Ours really sparkle.
Okay, that's Jimmy from Gretna with another Ida insurance question.
The best for less. And no matter how much you want to spend, we have a huge selection of diamond studs to choose from in every price range, second to none. For birthdays, anniversaries, or just because. Come see us at Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road.
As the temperatures heat up, our energy bills will rise. But with Alarm Protection Services Smart Home app, you can save time and money by managing your lights, home temperature, and alarm settings with automated schedules. APS keeps you in control of the energy settings when you're away. Get notifications if your thermostat is adjusted and lock out others when they try to change it. You have complete control through your APS Smart Home app. Save time and money this spring. Visit securitybyaps.com. or call 504-455-5277.
Plan the retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to Your Money Matters Saturday mornings at 7 here on WWL, the news, talk, and sports powerhouse of the Gulf South.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790.
Okay, that's Jimmy from Gretna. Coming up after this last spot, we will have 6 minutes. Just a little shade over 6 minutes for you until the top of the hour.
$27.90.
If you're looking for real news, News Nation is new and different. News Nation doesn't take sides or lean into political agendas. Here, you get all sides. If you're looking for news without the noise, come back to the news with News Nation. News for all America.
All things legal on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. All things legal is our last segment. Stay tuned for WWL LSU baseball at 12:30. First pitch, 1 o'clock. Pregame 12:30. First pitch 1 o'clock. LSU versus Mississippi State. Going for the sweep and go Tigers. Also, if you can't get to us today or we can't get to you on the phone, you can call us at our law firm at 504-837-1304. 504-837-1304 or North Shore 985-624-9697. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Jimmy. Got a question regarding Ida. Hey, Jimmy. What's happening, brother? From Gretna.
Hey, how's it going, brother? Yep. All right. Yeah, home of Melot.
Home of Melot. That's it. I was about to say that.
Yeah, I figured that. You're like a clock, baby. Always on point.
That's right.
I wanted to ask you, okay, so it's been almost 8 months since Hurricane Ida. And, look, I didn't lose everything. I didn't lose my roof, but I know there's damage to my roof. Now, of course, who do you trust is my question. You know, I put a claim in with my insurance company. They sent out their adjuster, and their adjuster's like, well, you know, you don't have any damage. You don't need a new roof. Then I talked to a regular contractor, a licensed contractor, who might be, you know, his interest might be to sell as many roofs as possible. So, I mean, you can look at it one of two ways. He tells me I need a new roof, okay? But that could also be tainted because, you know, he's in the business of selling roofs. You know, I haven't gotten a lawyer yet through you guys or some other entity. But, I mean, I guess at this point, that's my next step. I put a claim in. You know, I obviously had the receipts from my evacuation, me and my family. I also had some damage now I had some damage in my drywall in my kitchen on the ceiling. It was near a door, sort of, near the roofing on the edge. And the insurance company's adjuster, a roof man, said, oh, that was because the wind was coming in sideways. And, you know, you don't need a new roof, though. But, you know, I still sustain damage, though. So, I mean, do you think I have a good case? I mean, look, my shingles are worn out. You know, my granulation, you know, in the policy I have, my insurance policy, granulation loss is not covered per se. But, you know, the roof is about 11 years old. The storm didn't help. I figure it is due for a new roof. Actually, it's more like 13-year-old roof. So, I mean, do you think I have a decent? Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. When your contractor said you needed a new roof,
wait, you mean mine, the one that was
yours,
that I needed a new one?
Yeah,
okay.
Your contractor said you needed a new roof. Did he articulate in his estimate or report why? Did he say
this is why you need a new roof? He said it'd be about $11,000. He showed me photos. He's like, you have damage here, you know, stuff like that. He went as far as to say that. Now, I mean, I'm not a roofer. I mean, the shingles are still there. I see the shingles are there. Are they stabilized? Not flapping up with a blower, a leaf blower on it? I don't know. I haven't gotten up there yet, even now. But I mean,
let me ask you though, was his reasoning as to why the roof needed to be replaced, was that in his estimate, or is that just something he told you?
It pretty much, he just told me that he got up there, took some pictures of it, showed me the photos, and said, "Look, you need a new roof."
Correct.
But again,
so what you have to do,
because he's in the business of selling roofs, you know.
I understand. So what you have to do though is submit to that adjuster, have him come back and write up a 1-paragraph report. This is why you need a new roof. You can't just submit an estimate for a new roof. You have to you have to establish why it needs to be replaced. And now they're put on notice as to your position as to why it needs to be replaced, and it's backed up by this contractor. Of course, get on the contractor's website and make sure that guy's licensed. But because if he's who you're relying on, you need to to go to court. You're going to need to make sure that he's at least a licensed contractor. But yes, until you think maybe the insurance company, until you submit to the insurance company information
got 1 minute
why it needs to be replaced, with photographs of the shingles lifting up and the granulation and all of these issues, you've got to prove your case. So you can't just say, "Oh, here's my estimate for a new roof," because they don't have to pay on that.
Yeah, should I go get a new roof now and legalize it out later? Or is that a bad move?
No,
I would make sure that if you get that new roof, that roofer, whoever you use, comes in and says, "Hey, look, this is why you need it. Here are the photographs. Look at the debris underneath the shingles, etc." To prove to them,
I'm cutting them off.
Needed to have it.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call. You've got to go. We'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Thanks for the call. Y'all have a great week. Beautiful day. Albert, enjoy Waveland. It's beautiful out there. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Go Tigers.
The News Talk Sports Powerhouse.